Yo, what's good everyone? Welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to be breaking down the Nhl Dfs slate for Monday, February 13th. And we got ourselves a 5-game slate here tonight where I'm going to go through a couple of my favorite line stacks, some of my favorite individual plays, and some of my favorite value plays. And then we'll wrap up today's video talking a little prize picks. With that being said, let's dive into my spreadsheet here. And we're going to kick things off here like we always do in the top left-hand corner with those highest implied game totals, where you can see 4 of these games are coming in with an implied total of 6.5 goals. And then this game here between the Coyotes and Predators coming in at 6 goals even. And then take a look down here at the Vegas odds, where you can see each team who's favored to win tonight. And then here's a schedule update for this week. Got ourselves a really good slate of games here this week, so I will be making an Nhl Dfs video Monday through Friday. With that being said, let's dive into a couple of line stacks that I like here for tonight. Now, I will start by saying that I really like this slate in general. I think there's some high scoring potential across the board, and really, there's not any one of these games that I'm not interested in. I kind of mentioned that in the notes here off to the right-hand side. But one line that is really hard to ignore right now is that second line for the Florida Panthers. We got Bennett centering Verhaeghe and Tkachuk. I talked about them last week a little bit, but they actually lead the entire NHL right now in expected goals per 60 minutes as a line with 4.63. In just their past 10 games, they've combined for 18 goals, 19 assists, 37 points, averaging close to 4 points per game. And I certainly don't mind the matchup here tonight on the road against the Minnesota Wild, who haven't necessarily been playing their best hockey here as of late, having allowed 3.20 goals per game over their past 5. But again, I just like this slate in general, and this is definitely one of those games that I'll be targeting, as I do believe it has some high scoring potential. And then a cheaper line stack that I really like here tonight is that first line for the Los Angeles Kings. We got Kopitar centering Byfield and Kempe. They're playing some really good hockey right now, especially over their last 5 games, where the 3 have combined for 11 goals, 10 assists, 21 points, essentially averaging over 4 points per game. And I like the matchup at home for them here tonight to expand on that against the Buffalo Sabres, a team that has definitely improved this year but still struggles defensively, and their goaltending can be a little shaky at times. Over their past 5 games, they've allowed 3.80 goals per game with a penalty kill that's hit at just a 71.5% rate. Now folks, before we dive into some of my favorite individual plays here, if you could like this video and subscribe to the channel, I would greatly appreciate that. I know we're already over the halfway point of the NHL season this year, but still got 30 or so games to go, and I will be breaking down NHL slates for the rest of the season, plus the best time of the year, the NHL playoffs. I'll be covering that as well. Now don't forget, I am running that Discord channel too, and if you want to join that, there's a link to do so in the description below. We're growing a great community there, talking some hockey and talking some prize picks as well. Alright, now diving into some of my favorite individual plays here, we're going to kick it off with the forwards, and the first guy I got there is Kirill Kaprizov of the Minnesota Wild, and honestly, I almost highlighted that first line for the Wild tonight. Hartman centering Kaprizov and Zuccarello. Stacking them up, I have no issue with that. Like I said, I really like this slate in general. Definitely some high scoring potential across the board, including this game here between the Wild and Panthers, so I'm not going to be afraid to target it in general. Kaprizov hasn't necessarily played his best hockey as of late. He still has 4 goals, 6 assists, 10 points in his past 10 games. Getting on the score sheet is really never an issue for him, especially when he plays at home, and I'll show his numbers at home here in just a minute. But what I don't love about his game right now is not shooting the puck at a very high rate. Just 25 shots on net here in his past 10 games. When he has closer to 4 or 5 shots on net per game, he's playing much better hockey. He could definitely get back to that here tonight. Like I said, he's been awesome at home all year long, where you can see he's racked up 17 goals, 22 assists, 39 points in 26 home games. I then got Nazem Kadri there of the Calgary Flames, and this is another game between the Flames and Senators that I have a lot of interest in. Definitely some high scoring potential here, and Kadri at $6,000 is one of the cheapest price tags we've seen on him all year long. He's kind of floated around this price as of late, but someone who's pretty much been in the low 7K range for most of the season, so I am kind of looking at this as a discount play. Now the Senators, the matchup they have against tonight, they've been a better better hockey team this year in general, absolutely. They have no problem scoring goals. Their power play has been very good, but still a team that struggles defensively, and their goaltending has been shaky, allowing 3.24 goals per game this season. Plus, they're going to be missing Jake Sanderson here tonight, their number 2 defenseman, which certainly doesn't bode well for them. So I like Kadri here and really just like that second line in general tonight with Kadri Huberdeau and Jacob Pelletier, who you can see I got listed below. Now, on the other side of that game, I put Claude Giroux here at $5,900, largely due to how he's trending right now, and he is playing some really good hockey over his past 5 games. Plays on that second line. The downfall I have with him is he plays on the number 2 power play, because that number 1 power play for Ottawa this year has been fantastic. Really the second best in the NHL, just behind the Edmonton Oilers, scoring on 27% of their chances. So I would love to get exposure to that number 1 power play, but again, Giroux playing some really good hockey right now. You can see he's racked up 6 goals, 3 assists, 9 points in just his last 5 games, while averaging close to around 3 shots on net per game. Now, one team I kind of like targeting here tonight on the contrarian side of things is the Arizona Coyotes playing on the road against the Nashville Predators. Now, the Predators aren't necessarily a team that give up a lot of goals, but looking at their roster here, not necessarily a team I'm very afraid of either, and now they're missing their best forward in Philip Forsberg, so maybe they do play an even more defensive game here tonight, but this Arizona team I do have some interest in for sure. On the tournament side of things, if I'm looking to get contrarian, really that first line of Schmaltz, Hayton, and Keller have played some great hockey here lately. Schmaltz himself, if you look at his past 7 games, he's racked up 6 goals, 7 assists, 13 points, averaging close to 2 points per game, and is really crushing value at his current price of $5,100. But again, this is a tournament-only play for me. And then as a low 4K play there, I like Anthony Beauvillier, who was just traded to the Vancouver Canucks 4 games ago. He's getting all the opportunity in the world on his new team, playing up on that first line with Elias Pettersson and playing on that number 1 power play too. He's logging around 17-18 minutes per night. He's actually scored in each of his last 2 games too, and has plotted 2 goals, 1 assist, 10 shots on net with his new team. I obviously like the price tag here and the opportunity that he's getting up on that first line and number 1 power play, but I certainly don't mind the matchup at home here tonight for the Vancouver Canucks in general, playing the Detroit Red Wings, who've allowed 3.24 goals per game this year, with a penalty kill that's hit at just a 77% rate. Now, moving over here to the defensemen, and honestly, everyone, I'm not really in love with the overall defenseman player pool here tonight. I'm probably going to keep it pretty limited overall. I only got 1 honorable mention there, and for those of you who have been watching my videos this year, usually I have close to 4 or 5. So yeah, my player pool here tonight is certainly limited, but it's really the same strategy again. Targeting guys who play up on the number 1 power play, play 20 plus minutes per night, and really, if they can, play in all situations, including the penalty kill, where you have a little more upside in blocking shots. Got Aaron Ekblad here, stacking him up with forwards on the number 1 power play for the Florida Panthers. Drew Doughty, same thing there, stacking him up with forwards on the number 1 power play for the Los Angeles Kings. Noah Hannafin there of the Calgary Flames, still logging really big minutes and playing up on the number 1 power play with Rasmus Andersson out. Sounds like Andersson is day-to-day, but still rehabbing after getting hit by a car last week on his scooter. Yes, that is a real story if you want to go check it out. And then again, as a tournament play here, and really at $3,000, I think you could play it in all situations. But Juuso Valimaki there of the Arizona Coyotes, he is currently playing up on the number 1 power play. Assuming that Jakob Chychrun is going to be scratched again. It sounds like they're trying to trade him right now. He did get scratched the other day against the St. Louis Blues, and it makes sense that they're doing that, right? If you're trying to trade someone, you don't want to put him in a situation to where he could get hurt, but keep an eye on that. I guess we very well could see Chychrun back in the lineup tonight. If that's the case, I think Valimaki's an okay play, but I don't like him nowhere near as much as I do if he's up on the number 1 power play. And then I got a couple of goaltenders there for you. Higher price and lower priced option, but honestly, everyone, the goalie situation tonight is far from my favorite. I think I'll probably just go with the goalie that makes sense based off the rest of my lineups, because like I said, I think any one of these games could turn into a high-scoring affair. The goalies I went with here are Phoenix Copley of the Los Angeles Kings. Look, his overall stats aren't great. He's got a goals allowed average of 2.77 and a save percentage of .901, but he wins games, and that is important, currently sitting with a record of 16-3-1 on the season. Now, as a tournament or GPP only goaltender, I like like Karel Vejmelka here of the Arizona Coyotes. He's a boom-bust type of player, someone who can get you 30-plus DraftKings points, but could also get you 2 DraftKings points here tonight. But what I like is the matchup against the Predators, who have scored the 7th fewest goals in the NHL this year, and now they're missing their best forward tonight in Philip Forsberg. And as always, going to wrap up the spreadsheet here with 3 low-priced options or sub-4K forward plays. First guy got there is Cody Glass of the Nashville Predators, currently playing up on the first line in number 1 power play. He's found his game here as of late ever since being promoted to that first line, having scored 2 goals, 3 assists, 5 points in his last 5 games. Next is Ridley Greige there of the Ottawa Senators, playing on that second line in number 2 power play. He's got 3 assists in 5 games ever since being recalled from the AHL, and makes for a nice little cheap stack with Claude Giroux, being that both are on that second line in number 2 power play. And then Jacob Pelletier, name dropped him earlier when I was talking about Nazem Kadri, plays on that second line in number 1 power play for the Calgary Flames, and coming off a game where he actually scored his first NHL goal and is playing around 15 minutes per night. And as always, going to wrap up this video here today talking a little prize picks. They do not have the full set of picks out here again as I record this morning. You guys know that's pretty much been the trend all year long. Otherwise, I would spend more time breaking down my picks on this video, but we'll stick with the same strategy we've done all year long. Once all these picks do come out, I'll do my research and then let you know my final picks in a comment below on this video, and I'll be sure to pin that comment as well. But don't forget, I am posting those picks in my Discord channel too, and if you want to join that, there's a link to do so in the description below. Now, for those of you who have not signed up for Prize Picks yet, but you want to get in on this action, I got a promo code that you should definitely take advantage of. When you're signing up, use my promo code GRIFF, GRIFF, and Prize Picks will give you all the way up to a $100 match deposit. Now, you do not have to put $100 in either. If you want to put in $50, they'll match $50. You want to put in $20, they'll match that $20. And again, we'll match anything up to $100 as long as you're using my promo code GRIFF, GRIFF, upon signing up. Alright everyone, that is going to wrap up this video here for today. As always, thank y'all for taking the time out of your day to watch the content here on this channel. If you could like this video and subscribe to the channel, I would greatly appreciate that. Let's have ourselves a great day here, folks. Let's win some money on this 5-game slate. In the meantime, I'm out of here.